Hey YouTube fam, back with another video. So today the fog lights came in, so we're going to be doing the fog light swap. These fog lights are for a 2002 to 2009 GMC Envoy, and I'm putting them on my 1997 Cobra. They fit in the brackets after a little bit of modification. I also bought new wiring harnesses, so we're going to splice in brand new wiring harnesses for this. But I also got a couple things I want to show you real quick, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, first order of business. I told you I ordered the Ford officially licensed front license plate bracket, and I was going to get a Ford racing bracket, and they said there was one in stock at this AutoZone near me, and I went there and they had no idea what I was talking about. So I got this, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. The red and black Cobra snake on a black aluminum flat background. This is really going to set off the front end of the car. For all you haters out there that don't like the front license plate look, suck it, man. I mean, I like it, and it's going to look great. So, next order of business. This is what showed up to my house on Wednesday. Just want to show you real quick. So, this right here is a 2002 to 2009 GMC Envoy fog light. You're going to see how much better this looks than the factory ones, but this is essentially what we're going to be installing. So I pulled the first one out of the box. Perfect, looks great, brand new. And then I peel this back and pull it out of the wrap, and I was so excited to do the video Wednesday night. What the fuck is that? Looks nothing like it. This one has a freaking convex lens. Like, the brackets are nothing alike. So stupid. So I took a chance and I actually ordered the same exact one from the same vendor, because they were sponsored, and at the very top of the page, whenever you type in 2002 to 2009 GMC Envoy fog lights, and they did send me the two correct fog lights. So they just made a mistake. I already got a return label, and I'm going to be returning it, so no big deal. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the old fog lights pulled off of the car and see about getting these new ones put in. Alright, first order of business, we got to get the car in the air. Where I lowered this thing, it is impossible to like even stick your head underneath of the car, so and get it to where the tires are almost off the ground, all the suspension's unloaded. Wow. But yeah, got the car up in the air now, so now we're gonna get inside of here and get this bracket off, get the headlight, get the fog light unplugged, and then we'll take the bracket over to the bench and show you how we're gonna mount the new one. So, your first order of business is going to be these two 10mm nuts that are holding the bracket on. It's pretty tricky because you don't have much room to spin your ratchet, so I may actually go grab a ratcheting wrench to get these the rest of the way out here, and then of course you're going to unplug your wiring harness. Also, I wanted to shout out this little thing that I purchased at Harbor Freight. You know, everybody has a creeper, but do you have a tool creeper? Because, you know, they always have these little spots for tools, but having this around where you can just dolly it around everywhere you need is great. So I got the first one off, and it sucks. It's hard to get this thing off because the two 10mm bolts attached to those clips, and with this much space down here, you can only spin your ratchet like a 1/8 turn at a time. So you're gonna bang your knuckles, and it takes forever to get it out. But eventually, it does come out. Just you know, don't use too much force because these clips can break. So just, you know, be stern, but like don't like put a cheater bar or something crazy on it. And use PB Blaster. So yeah. So another thing that I wanted to mention, since I got the car up in there and you can see it, the bottom fender bolts on my car broke off. So when I did the original tear down, I had to cut these bolts off with a zip wheel. So I drilled out the bolts and then cut off the back side of the bolts, and I put these brand new bolts in here. So I want to try to get like a piece of rubber or something to cover these up, because these are really prone to corrosion. So you know, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments, but I'm definitely going to try to get something to protect this. Alright, so before I started making videos, I did a ton of stuff to this car. If you can't tell, I pulled the engine and trans and everything, and I POR coated the entire rad support and the frame. We got new Supreme sway bar bushings. We got energy suspension polyurethane rack and pinion bushings. We got the SR Performance loader spring, the SR Performance sway bar end link with bushings, the Coney orange strut, and tons of other little odds and ends and goodies under here. So I just want to take a second to show you that. And like magic, we have the second fog light out of there. So let's snap one over to the bench. All right. So we're gonna need to get these fog lights out of here. It looks like this one on the driver's side's already kind of been jack-legged together. They got a screw going through the side of it. So essentially we need to remove the adjustment spring from the bottom of both, and then, you know, get them out of these clips. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And no surprise, the adjustment screws broke on both of them, but they came out. And I did notice, I don't know if you can tell, I can take it out of there, but I'm not going to. But there's actually LED lights inside of this, because these were, even though these are like all hazy, these lights were super bright when I turned them on. So we may even swap the bulbs, the LED bulbs, from here into there if they fit. But I'm gonna get these brackets cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll see about getting the Envoy fog lights mounted on them. All right, now that I have the bracket cleaned up a little bit, as you can see, these fog lights fit right down inside of this bracket. We just need to bend the bracket inward slightly, and then most people, when they do this, they remove this whole adjustment bracket off of it, but I think I'm gonna keep it. And I'm going to use the screws that came with it to mount it. So I'm going to bend the bracket in, pull the screw out, and then have the bracket here and sink the screw through the bracket into this, and hopefully that works. So let's try that. Alright, so if you do order this same bracket, it's kind of tricky to get these screws out. I know it's like, what? Tricky to get a screw out, but as you can see, it's like got one of those plastic automotive clips that spreads out when you put the screw in. So when you just try to turn this, the plastic and everything spins. So I took my needle nose and stuck down in there and grabbed a hold of the plastic and then spun it, and the screw backed right out. So just a little tip. All right, so if you bend the bracket, you can get it just right to where it fits down in there nice and snug, and it almost feels like it's made for it. So what I did was I just took the bracket and I put the edge of it here and just lean into it with my body weight until I felt it give, and then you'll notice it just bends inward slightly. Yeah, so now I'm gonna try to get these screws through the side into those clips that came with it. I'm hoping that works, and if it does, then I can leave this adjustment screw and everything, so I can get these up in there and then adjust them how I please. So yeah, so as I mentioned, I ordered new wiring harnesses off of Amazon, but And it said that they were the ones made for this fog light. This has a split down the middle. This does not, so it will not plug in. So looks like I wasted even more money. Honestly, I'm sick of Amazon because it literally sold this as a pair. It said if you buy this, you need this. But luckily, the Ford ones are exactly the same as the Envoy ones, so we're not stopping in our tracks. I can use the same factory wiring harness whenever I'm checked and it plugs in, so no splicing needed. I was going to put brand new harnesses just for the hell of it, just so that everything's new, but looks like I'm not. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up and then show it to you. Look at the difference. I mean, just side by side, it's night and day. These are just so much prettier. And now we have both of our fog lights mounted in the bracket. You do have to stick your needle nose down there and hold that plastic clip while you spin the screw in as well, because it will just rotate. Like I said, I left the adjustment screw and everything on mine just because I mean, it all fits in there, unless it causes an issue with, if I need to tilt the headlight like even farther back, then that may become an issue and I may end up having to take it off. But as of right now, I think that it's going to be okay, because I mean, worst case scenario, I could cut the little nipple off of that screw so that it clears there if I have to. But yeah, I'm super excited to get these up in there. So the next order of business, I've said that like 20 times this video. I don't know why I keep saying it, but now we need to make room for this thing. So as you can see, it's like kind of shallow up here, but it widens out, so we need to cut into our bumper. So we need to take out, sorry, my low battery thing came up. We need to take out about 1 inch. So I'm going to measure out 1 inch, 1 inch, and mark all the way around through here, and then we're going to cut that 1 inch of material out of there to make room for the fog light. All right, so this is how I'm doing it. I'd suggest you do it this way too. First of all, I took some quick detailer and, you know, cleaned it up a little bit, and then I wrapped masking tape all the way up to where it curves up in here. So what I did was I measured 1 inch in from the farthest point where the curve starts, and I'm cutting out exactly 1 inch all the way around here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the other side and get the tape in the other side and get it marked. One thing to help you mark, get you a piece of cardboard and cut it 1 inch wide. This cardboard has tape on it, so it kind of helps it stay together. So I'd suggest getting a piece of cardboard that has packing tape on it and just cut you out a 1 inch strip. And then, you know, I just laid it in there and held it against the back edge with my finger, and then, you know, traced the line there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side done, and then we'll cut these pieces of plastic out. All right, now we got both of the housings taped off and marked at 1 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut out of here. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to use because I have a rotary tool, but I don't have a bit that is like a cutting wheel. The only thing I have a cutting wheel for is my die grinder. I love this thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut this lip out of here and then catch up with you. Alright, my compressor's running, but I'm just going to talk over it. But I got the first piece cut out of there. As you can see, took exactly 1 inch out all the way around. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side and then pull the tape off. Alright, so what I did was I went ahead and I left this bulb the same. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell in the video. I left this bulb the same the one that came with it, and then I put the LED bulb in this one. And honestly, I think that the halogen one might be brighter, because like this this LED one, when I shine it right in my eyes, it's not that bad, but this halogen thing, when I shine it right in my eyes, it's like blinding. So leave a comment which one you think I should go with. I mean, I do have the newer style LED ring up here, but it does also have a halogen dot there, so either look would look okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is run the LED bulbs for now. So I got that white light, and I'll save the halogen ones for if the LEDs ever go bad. So yeah, we'll go ahead and change the bulb out on this one and put the halogen bulb in the housing for the other one, and then get these mounted up. We got both sides cut out with the die grinder, and yeah, so let's get to mounting. And now we have the fog light sitting in the housing. You can't tell me this doesn't look 10 times better. Fills out the hole completely. 10 times better look right here. I absolutely love it. This might be my favorite mod that I've done to my car so far, because I've already done the mod where you switch the wires and the wiring harness to make the fog lights come on with the park lights. But yeah, let's test it out so you can see what it looks like with the park lights on. Wow, that's going to give it such a great look. I haven't mounted the other side up yet, but I'm extremely happy with what I've got thus far. The positioning of the bracket, mounting it back up, is going to be a little bit different. So I've got to fool with that and adjust it a little bit. Everybody's is going to be a little bit different, but as far as adjustment, but yeah, I think that this really makes the front end of the car look way better. I am ecstatic. Alright guys, so it's the next day. It got late last night, so I didn't finish mounting everything up. So I came out here this morning and I peeled the tape off of the inside of the bumper and peeled the plastic off of the fog light itself, and then I applied a ton of this hybrid ceramic liquid wax from Meguiar's. I've just, normally you're supposed to just like smear a light coat on, but I just like caked it on. I poured it on and then I rubbed it in with my finger, and I'm gonna let it sit for like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna come and wipe it with a microfiber and like buff it in, and then let it sit for like another 5 minutes, and then actually buff it out on the final step. That way hopefully these fog lights don't ever glare over on me and start turning like yellowish like the old ones did. So just want to mention that anytime you're putting new lighting or anything new in your car, you always want to protect it the same way you protect your paint. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit and then get it buffed out, and then we're gonna get these fog lights mounted up. Alright, so a couple things that I'm gonna be doing to make the adjustment a little bit easier. I think I mentioned this earlier, but the nipples on the ends of these bolts, we're just gonna grind them down about 1/8 of an inch. I have a bench grinder, so I'm just gonna grind it just a little bit. That allows it to clear this little bump right here, so you have full adjustment. Also, this tab right here, I'm gonna bend it down slightly, and I'm also gonna bend this tab down slightly, just so that I can fit it in there exactly how I want to. But yeah. All right, guys, so finally got them in, and wow, it is night and day the difference that these fog lights make. I am super happy with the look. A couple things really quick with getting them to sit in the housing correctly. The light, it like doesn't want to sit at the correct angle, so the bottom of the bracket actually needs to be pushed forward a little bit. So up where you put your bolts in, it'll be easier if I actually show you, but up at the top of the bracket here, I know it's dark, but up at the top of the bracket here, I noticed that if I pushed on the bottom, it sat in there exactly where I wanted it. So up at the top here, I loosened up the bolts just a little bit, and then I took some 1/4 inch washers and I stacked 3 of them on top of each other, then wrapped them in black tape and pushed on the bottom edge, and then jammed them washers down in there as like a shim to hold it forward, and then just tighten the bolts back down so that it keeps it at that angle. And as you can see, it makes it fill out the housing really well. So yeah, this took me a couple hours to do just because I'm so particular about things, but this is something that you could knock out really quick. I'll leave a link in the description of where I purchased the fog lights, and you can go and pick them up for yourself if you want to do this. But yeah. So yeah, I've been wanting to do this mod since I got the car, and I'm extremely happy with the results. Pretty simple. Just order the fog lights, and you know, all you got to really do is bend the bracket just a little bit, maybe like a 1/2 inch bend on each side, and you're done. And then mount them right in. They use the same exact wiring harness, so I was even able to transfer the LED bulbs that I had in the crappy fog lights and transfer those bulbs straight over into these. So even with this new Envoy fog light housing, when you go to advance, you can say, hey, I need bulbs for a Mustang, and it's going to be the exact same. So that surprised me a lot. I'm really glad that they hook up with the same exact wiring harness. So yeah, this was a really fun mod, my favorite mod that I've done so far. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're just past 50 subscribers. I'm really excited about that, on the road to 100. And yeah, I think what our next video is going to be, I'm gonna do 2 little things. I'm gonna, that headlight that I showed you, I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted up with the Ford officially licensed Cobra bracket. Get that mounted on there, then get the Cobra Snake license plate mounted on there, and then we're also gonna do the OPR antenna delete plate. I think I'll make that one video, the license plate and the antenna delete plate, and then we'll be probably trying to get the passenger seat in the car. So listen to this, you're gonna fucking love this, pardon my French, but eBay stepped in and returned me my money. So I got my $65.99 back, and the seller messaged me and said, hey, if you want to purchase it again, you know, sorry about all this, you know, if you want to purchase it again, we'll give you 5% off. I was like, great, I'll go ahead and do that now, because eBay already returned me my money. And I click on the item, they raised the price to $256.99. They raised it by $190. What the, like, the name of the eBay store is Hot Sale Shop, HOTSALESHOP-03. Fuck them guys, they're scammers if you ask me. So I usually don't do this, but I went full Karen on them. I reported them to eBay. I called eBay and told them, I was like, after all this, they offered me a 5% discount and then raised the price times 4. They multiplied the price times 4 and it's like, hey, we'll give you 5% off. Kiss my ass. Like, I don't even know what to do. So I think we're going to try to use the factory brackets and try to do it similar to how we did the factory power seat bracket. And then I also, like I said, got to get the interior back in the car. I don't know if you can see, but I got the center console laying on its side so that I could plug up the fog light switch. So we'll get the center console back in, get the front of the dash back in where the stereo is, and get the seat in, and then yeah, I think we're gonna do the trunk struts, try to get that straightened out at some point. But everything's looking up now. Now that I got these 2 issues out of the way with eBay, and then with them fog lights messing up, I'm hoping everything, you know, it goes up, it looks up from here, and there's no more issues with shipping and handling and stuff like that, because I've ordered thousands of dollars worth of parts and I didn't start having issues until I decided I wanted to start videoing things. So yeah, I think that's about it. And except, yeah, we're going to be doing the gauge cluster very soon. I'm going to pull the gauge cluster out, put the SVT decal on the tachometer, put all new LED lighting in there because I have a burnout bulb. So we're going to remove those backlight bulbs and put brand new blue LEDs in there. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.